I guess about, 3 years after we got married?
Mm-hmm.
We wanted to start a family, and I got pregnant right out of the starting gate. And at about 7 or 8 weeks, we were in Bermuda, and I had a miscarriage. We were on a family vacation.
We actually knew from a long time ago that we would have to do this, go through fertility treatments because I didn't ovulate. So we knew when we met, or I knew when we met. So we got married and we waited a year.
Well, I think we started, about 15 years ago?
Mm-hmm.
Just by, stopping contraception and thinking that it was going to work the next month.
Right.
And when that didn't work, after, 6 months or so?
Yeah, probably.
Then we went to Clomid for...
Many rounds.
Yeah.
Should never have done that many rounds, but it was much more unregulated then than it is now. That didn't work, obviously. I guess I went to an obstetrician gynecologist, and she put me on Clomid, and I was on Clomid for about 9 months, and during that time I got pregnant again and had another miscarriage.
Let's see, we did 3 IUIs, all unsuccessful. We didn't do drugs. We didn't do Clomid, but we did do medications. And we moved on to IVF. And the first one was an early miscarriage, 5 weeks. They called and said, well, you're pregnant, but...
Surgeries?
Surgeries, several surgeries, laparoscopies, reconstruction of tubes, all sorts of things. That didn't work.
There was the last trimester was spent bed rest for Lisa, so the entire last 3 months in bed, really could not get out of bed except to go to the bathroom.
Go to the doctor. Couldn't go downstairs because I had started some early labor, and they didn't like that, so they put me in bed for a few months.
It was the beginning of my home nursing education.
That and the giving of shots. We had a scare during that pregnancy, and they think we lost maybe a twin. That may have been part of that. But Isabel came out happy and healthy about 8 months later, and we were thrilled.
And then the second one was, I don't know, 6 months later, maybe, not that much. And no, it wasn't that much. And we got pregnant. And I was put on bed rest very early and ended up being induced at 18 and a half weeks. So that was
very painful.
Very painful, extremely painful.
And then we went to IVF.
How many cycles? 7, 8?
7 or 8 IVF cycles. Yes.
With donor eggs, too.
Donor eggs. We did it all.
None of that worked.
None of it worked. We knew that we had had some difficulty trying to get pregnant with Isabel, and so about 8 or 9 months after she was born, we started trying again. And again, I got pregnant using assisted IUI, the IUI with injectable medications, and again had another miscarriage. And at that point, it was recommended to us that we see a doctor who specialized in recurrent miscarriage. Yeah, that was it. Long, several years struggle. I'd say 7, 8, 9 years maybe. 7, I don't know.
All told,
6, 7, 8. I don't know.
Running
Remember?
on 10 years probably,
Yeah.
actually.
Mm.
And then
Some things.
went through adoption.
Yes.
And we had one failed adoption.
Yes, we did. I had another miscarriage, an ectopic pregnancy, and had emergency ectopic surgery. And so it was a miscarriage, but they lump it into a different category and call it ectopic.
Incredibly painful.
It was another low point. Then he suggested that after a few more assisted IUIs that we go to IVF.
And then we tried again, actually, before we tried again, they didn't take everything out, so I had to go back and have surgery about 3 months after we had the baby.
Then had the first IVF, which was unsuccessful, the second IVF, which was also unsuccessful, and those were mixed with really bad bouts of horrible reactions to anesthesia. Did another IVF with him, which did not work, and the fourth IVF, our second with this doctor, worked, and we now have our second daughter, Lucy.
And then a few months later, we did our third round of IVF and got pregnant with twins, and it was successful. So we have our little twins.
Talked to many birth mothers.
Yes, we were contacted by many birth mothers.
Until we finally had our daughter, who we were supposed to have, by a domestic open adoption.
Yes, yes, very, very
She's
beautiful.
now 3.5 years old.
Yes.
No, we're a worst case scenario. We're one of the case studies in how bad infertility can be.
And how good.
Exactly. We are a success story also, 2 times over.